When it comes to animation, Pixar is definitely on the top of the list. I mean, of course, they're with Disney, so that makes sense. But over the years, there's been a weird decrease in their films. Now, Pixar is a really good studio, and even though their movies, well, may seem decreased a bit, it doesn't make them all bad. Hell, I love all Pixar movies. However, compared to each other, some are greater than others. So I brought, this upon myself, and since Elemental is coming out later in June of this year, which is definitely going to date my ranking, it'll still be fun to rank the films regardless. We got 26 films on the chopping block. I don't know why I said it like that. So let's do this. Also, keep in mind, I'm not really ranking them, on how bad they are, because all of them are really good movies in their own right. I'm ranking them on, compared to each other. Like, how they work in the series, if they're in a series. Or, since it's tied to Pixar, it's going to be in a very high regard. So yeah. But by themselves, these movies are great. But compared to each other, that's where the real test comes in. Anyway, here we go. Number 26. Alright, I need to be very real with ya. When Turning Red came out, I absolutely kind of liked this movie. Only kind of. But now, it definitely fell off for me. Now, once again, it's not a bad movie. Not at all. Then again, it was ranked under Cars 2, which you're going to be surprised of how high I ranked this movie, but this is the movie we're talking about. Now, the fact that they made Billie Eilish make some of the songs made me really angry because I don't really like Billie Eilish, despite her being a huge fan of the Gorillaz, and I love the Gorillaz. But that's off topic. I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, the movie itself is just, I don't know. I mean, it came out in a weird time because it came out a week before my 18th birthday. I know, it felt weird. I kind of cringed a lot while watching it, and I know, this is probably a sign being like, maybe you're too old for animated movies. And to that, I say, I'm gonna aim this gun at your head. I guess I could start with some positives. The story was okay. The generational trauma was fine. And overall, it looked like a pretty nice movie. It's like if Pixar made an anime. But the bad parts definitely show. Actually, the good thing about this is that it definitely shows how cringe 13-year-olds can be. Especially since... Okay, maybe I'm still cringe, but man, I remember being so cringe when I was 15 years old. And then we got the whole red panda analogy and stuff. When this movie actually first came out, people thought like it was symbolizing, showing her, yeah. And I thought these people are just stupid. But yeah, everyone thought this movie was kind of mid. Some loved it, some hated it. I liked it at first, but I just got bored of it real fast. Or maybe because my sister just, never stopped putting down the dang remote. But other than that, it's fine in its own right, but this movie was definitely not for me, so yeah. Number 25. You saw how boring that scene was? Think of it like The Good Dinosaur. Now, once again, of course, not a bad movie compared to others, but compared to Pixar, this is like one of the most boring Pixar movies. Now, the reason it's above Turning Red, because it's not, well, obnoxious and all that, but yeah, I just didn't have a good time with this one. I mean, Arlo was an okay protagonist, but he has a personality of a trash can that's empty. Yeah, we're gonna go, oh no, I have a better roast. He has enough personality as a modern YouTuber. Anyway, so basically it's just another travel story. We've seen those before. and him impressing his dad, and his dad died, and yep, another Disney cliche I want to see. I mean, it was okay. I mean, the only thing that really has it going for it is how nice it is. And I can definitely appreciate the more calmer atmosphere, but that's really it. The reason it's above Turning Red because it's not, I said, it's not super annoying. However, Spot. I freaking hate this kid. Like, what the heck? Do we really need a caveman boy for this? This year was just very stale. This movie is more stale than stale bread. It's more, this movie is more stale than Corrin from Super Smash Brothers. I just didn't want to deal with this. I regret watching this movie now. I mean, I kind of liked it as a kid, but now it just... Seriously, how are you gonna expect Gen Z kids to, watch this when all they want is TikTok in 10 seconds? Yeah. Good Dinosaur is just a boring film. Let's move on. Number 24. Brave. I mean, it's not boring, but it's still annoying. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this one feels more organic, if you catch my drift. Anyway, this is just another lackluster, why did I sound Scottish? What the heck? This is another lackluster story by Pixar about a female protagonist wanting to be free and all that. If you, judging from this ranking, I did not like this. It's just plain, bland. Princess Merida is the most annoying Disney character other than Malin Lee. I just cannot deal with this. Really, anything I can say about The Good Dinosaur applies to Brave, except Merida is super annoying and not as good as Arlo. If this was a protagonist I'm ranking, Arlo would be above Merida by a bit. But really, this is just another boring movie about how, she doesn't like her home life, her parents don't understand this teenager, yada yada yada. They fired the director mid-movie, who directed The Prince of Egypt, by the way, which is one of DreamWorks' best movie. Yeah, DreamWorks, best movie. Prince of Egypt. A good Bible story, especially since, I'm Christian. And, yeah. Screw this movie, I don't want to talk about it more. Seriously, let's make it kid-friendly by changing the mother into a bear. And then don't get me on, don't get me started on the other plot points with these three kids. Menaces of society and stuff, and just... Man, this movie makes me, speaking of tone of a YouTube apology video. Screw this movie. That's why it deserves 24. Number 23. Ooh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but Cars 2 is the fourth worst. Yep, not the first worst, the fourth worst. Alright. Let's get to the positives out of the way. This movie is not as bad as it seems. I hated it for a little bit after I liked it. Kind of have a love-hate relationship with this movie. So, I saw this movie back in second grade, loved it. Then I started to hate it. Then I kind of have an erratic enjoyment of it. Let me just catch my breath. I just got out from a rock. Alright, let me explain. So, Cars 2 is not really that bad of a movie. It's still bad, in Pixar standards, but it's not that bad. I just really like, spy movies, especially if it's, cars and stuff. And sure, everyone in the movie is an idiot, but I just can't bring myself to hate this movie. This movie's pretty okay if you like action and stuff. But if you like plot like me, then you're not really gonna like it that much. But the action scenes are cool, and the racing scenes, the The racing scenes are okay. Really, the only thing holding this movie down is that it's a Cars movie. On top of that, it's a series movie. And on top of that, everyone in the movie is an idiot. And everyone just, makes Mater look like Einstein. And yeah, that's my take. Number 22. This movie is not bad. However, since it's tied to Pixar, and it's also part of a long series, like Pixar's longest series, it deserves to be here. Toy Story 4. Now, I don't hate this movie, I just hate how it definitely messed up a franchise that's dearly beloved by everyone. It should have stopped at 3 in 2010, but it kept going for some reason. I don't know why, it just did for some reason, but whatever. This movie is okay, though it just ruins the message of the other movies. Now, when I heard that Tom Hanks, while doing his last lines, he said he broke down crying, I was expecting this movie to be a very dark take on the series, but I liked the movie, but I just didn't like how they messed up the Toy Story series and I really don't have anything else to say. There's so many errors to this movie. Heck, while writing this, I was watching a 6-hour video on how Toy Story 4 messed up the Toy Story franchise, and the guy had spent literally 30 minutes on the first scene, only the first scene with the rescue and stuff. Now, I get why they went for a toy rescue plot instead of a fantasy section, is because this movie is way different from the others. Now, I appreciated it, but it still just ruins a perfectly good ending of Toy Story. Now, on top of that, Toy Story 5 is coming soon, and do we really need more Toy Stories? How are they going to expand the story with that? Is Woody going to be the main protagonist still, or just just stop? Also, between 3 and 4, Don Rickles' his name, I think, who voices Potato, had died in the middle of that, and all his lines are just pre-recorded. So yeah, man, it really just sucks. And yeah, I just thought it was kind of mediocre, I guess. Not the film, but just the plot and how it just kind of ruined, it. I mean, it was a pretty good ending, but other than that, I can't really see much of it. Number 21. Finding Dory is very, very plain. It's like a hamburger. You like it, but that's all it is. Finding Dory just feels so weird. When I watched it, I'm like, it was okay, but once again, like Toy Story 4, it was just kind of mediocre. Now, it was just filled with a bunch of generic, animal movie plots. And that's really all I have to say. I have no words on this movie, it's just okay. I've seen it so many times, but I still forget what's going on. Now, the only good character is Hank, and that's it. But other than that, it was just kind of a mid-movie. Let's just move on before I tire myself out. Number 20. Now, this is an improvement. Cars 3. Now, this one's about Lightning McQueen getting old and getting surpassed by this guy named Jackson Storm, which, yeah, that's his name, Storm. Lightning. Get it? Anyway, the whole plot revolves around Lightning McQueen getting old because there's new high-tech cars for some reason. Like if that wasn't an issue before. And basically it's just Lightning training to be the next Piston Cup champion, but just can't really because, well, he's old as all heck. And basically it's, teaching you that you could still find passion in, the same field. It just may not be what you expect. I guess similar to Monsters University, which I'll talk more positively later. But this one's just like, yeah, like Monsters University, where, you might not get cut out for this, except this one's about getting too old, and the other one's just in the beginning. It was a fine film. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but we're getting there. The most annoying character has to be the new car. What's her name? Cruz or something? It was okay. But there's another Pixar movie we're gonna talk later that also came out in 2017. And I hope by then this will be the end of the Cars series. Hopefully. If they announce Cars 4, I'm just gonna freaking die. I don't want to deal with this. Number 19. I wanted to love this film. I thought this would be the best Pixar film, but it wasn't. Lightyear, which breaks the continuity of Toy Story 2. Anyway, so Lightyear is actually really beautiful, to the point where my stepdad thought it was live action, which, I can see, but was this movie needed? I'm being serious. I wanted to love this movie, but I just can't. I mean, I did kind of like it, but not really. I mean, I liked it that I got myself a socks plush, which I think I showed in my vacation video, but other than that, it was just meh for me. It was okay, I guess, but yeah, I really did like the space stuff, but there was a few gags that I didn't like, and it just felt so uneven. Okay, I'm actually really bullcrapping. The movie was good. However, the twist villain just... how could it put words? I didn't like the twist villain. In the second Toy Story movie, Zurg was Buzz Lightyear's father. I know I'm not supposed to take that seriously, because it's supposed to be like a Star Wars joke, or a joke that anyone could have got, more of a pop culture joke, but I wasn't laughing. But no, the twist villain is just old Buzz Lightyear for some reason, when you could have, referenced this movie and, give us, Buzz Lightyear's father, but no. It this movie just felt so real. I know it existed, but I feel like it didn't exist. Am I the only one thinking that? I'm sorry, I just didn't really like it. Yeah, but at least it isn't a turning red, that's for sure. But I think we're done with the mediocre movies for now, because now there's more movies I want to talk, more positive about. Number 18. Onward is a pretty nice movie, especially when it represents brotherly love and, being... Okay, out of Pixar's catalog, this is kind of one of the forgettable movies next to Bug's Life. Though I still remember it, and yeah, though Chris Pratt being one of my favorite actors, I don't think it fits Barley that well. But we're not talking more like that. Let's talk about how this was actually a pretty cute film. Once again, yeah, I know it's not the best, but I just really like it, especially since, how special the relationship of Ethan and Barley was. Now, I know the whole quest was to get, their father into one piece, because apparently Ethan doesn't know how to do his freaking magic. Anyway, I'm being too harsh. But yeah, I kind of like this movie. I mean, I do have a younger brother, and yeah, it's true. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, but I know how to do things, and my brother is smart, but I'm very shy, and yeah, okay. I don't know why I'm comparing these two to me and my brother. I'm very shy and dumb. But yeah, I love Onward. It's pretty cool. Though, there's a reason why it's number 18 on this list. It's just, there are other Pixar movies that are just better than this. This is more forgetful than well, yeah, it's more forgetful than abysmal. Other than that, it was a pretty good movie. I think I already said that enough, but just can't emphasize it more. And yeah, the message back then was sweet, and yeah, I know I'm supposed to, feel more angry about this, but I can't really feel angry. This movie's actually pretty nice. Now, I know a lot of people do not really like this film that much. Not like hate it, but just don't like it, but for me, I thought this was a cute film. I loved it. I liked it. Number 17, Monsters University. I was about to talk about this film. Anyway, I'm jealous that I'm not in university. I'm in freaking college. Anyway. Off, getting on track. This is actually a pretty nice movie about finding yourself, and sometimes you just don't need college to be successful. You can be successful by being happy and stuff like that. Alright, let's actually delve more into the film. One thing that's holding this movie from greatness is that how it's very underrated, and on top of that, Mike and Sally said in Monsters Incorporated that they met themselves, like they are mentioning them in 4th grade. However, they started meeting each other in college, so the continuity isn't really adding up. Though that's more like a writer's thing. I understand, because I am a writer. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of it. Now, this underdog story is actually pretty nice, and I will agree, this movie is very underrated. Now, it's not as good as the original or any of the top Pixar films, but it's very likable on itself. But yeah, I could mostly relate to this movie since I'm in college. Of course, online college, but college nonetheless. And yeah, though the villain of the story just didn't like, I know he's supposed to be a stereotypical, jock that is mean and only good to only nice to a few people and stuff, but I don't know, I just freaking hate this dude. I don't like him. Burn him. But yeah, some of the new characters are actually pretty nice though. I kind of like them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a nice, solid kids' college film. I know, as a kid, you're not interested in college films. However, I'm built different. I like Pitch Perfect. I'm so quirky. Number 16, Incredibles 2. Can't believe this came out when I was 14 years old. 14 years of gapping, Wow. Now I feel like the Avatar fans. Alright, so this one was a mixed bag for me. I liked it at first, of course. This is gonna be another cliche with me and Pixar films. But other than that, it was okay. Alright, let's talk about the positives. Now, I kind of like how they continue the story with them fighting the Underminer. However, this cannot be ignored. In the original, they didn't really technically make supers legal again, but it definitely did help the case. However, the continuity with Jack's powers. Now, in the first one, everyone witnessed Jack's powers. However, in the second one, the family thought, oh, this is new. Jack actually has powers. Like, are you guys freaking stupid? Do you guys have dementia? You guys literally saw that Jack had powers in the first film. How? Like, what the heck? Anyway, let's talk about the actual freaking film. Now, I do like the finale, and Evelyn Dever was actually a pretty solid movie. Villain. Though, I think they just haven't really gone hard on this movie than it had to be. Now I do love the action scenes, and the new supers were okay, I guess. This is like the most mid Pixar movie out there, but definitely not the worst. I'm just very confused because it's been a while since I've seen it, and after seeing it, I'm like, huh. It was okay. I mean, yeah. I think my favorite part is when they finally made supers legal again. Thank goodness. And I do love the plot of Evelyn going on, side quests to make, supers legal again. But Bob's story with the kids just, I mean, it was okay, but they could have done more with it. Like, Violet's date, they should have shown that instead of her crying because Toby was his name? Toby doesn't remember her because he got minor arrested. I don't know, just go with me, alright? Well, it was solid. I mean, I did have a good time watching it again for sure. Been a while since I've seen it, but it was a nice touch. It was a pretty good sequel. Not as good as the first one, but we're getting there. It's good. It's really good. The final fight also has to be one of my favorite parts. I love the action scenes. Number 15. A Bug's Life. It's okay. I mean, that's really how forgettable it is, but let me just rewatch it and I'll be back. Okay, it was solid. Now the animation looks more like Toy Story, as in it looks very it looks very first 3D like, but this was made in like the 90s, right? So things weren't as HD and stuff. The animation just didn't age well, especially in Toy Story. I mean it kind of did, but it didn't, but it did. It just looks. Now I do like the plot of Hopper going in, but for the ends and demanding food from them because Flick messed up their food stash, and yeah, oops, mistaken. But it's really cool because Flick finds a circus. And am I making sense with this plot? Okay, I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining stuff. Basically, the whole plot is that Flick messed up by dropping the food into water for the what they are? Locusts, I think? Or grasshoppers? Yeah, grasshoppers. And yeah, grasshoppers come down to where the ants are. They ask for food. They thought they put the food and stuff, and yeah, that. And then Flick was to blame because he's the one that caused the food to go in the water. And then the grasshoppers threatened them, or should I say, made guarantees. And said if you don't have food for them in the next, months or something, or the end of summer, they'll kill them or something like that. But my gosh, I never... Man, let's talk about, what's his name, Hopper, right? Yeah, let's talk about Hopper. This villain, this grasshopper is one of the most evil villains ever. He killed his henchmen just to make a point, and this guy just won't stop at nothing to get his precious food. Or ants. Do grasshoppers eat ants? Wait, do grasshoppers eat ants or something? I don't know. But nothing is better than Flick's speech to Hopper, showing they're not scared of him or anything. Though the best Disney death has to be when Hopper literally gets eaten by a freaking bird, and then it gets fed to its chicks, its baby birds. Man, that was gruesome, and I love it. Now, I will admit, this movie kind of took forever, but it was a fun time nonetheless. There was also a plot when when Flick goes to the circus and finds these circus bugs as warriors to fight the grasshoppers. And yeah, enjoyable movie. Sorry if I suck ass at explaining that, but it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Number 14, Cars. Ooh, I am definitely getting drone striked for this one. Cars. Alright, I'm gonna blame nostalgia for this one because I grew up with this movie and I just love it, and I just love how 2000s it feels, alright? Alright? And also, Life is a Highway is such a banger. I listened to this even outside listening, outside watching this movie. It's such a classic. Life is a highway, and I ride it all night long. Oh man, the nostalgia. Anyway, so this is about Lightning McQueen. Okay, we all know it. Anyway, so this one's about Lightning McQueen being a big star rookie, and he's trying to win a Piston Cup. However, thanks to his tongue, he tied with Chex Hex, who's actually one of my favorite Disney villains. Just, man, personality. And what's that guy's name? I don't know, that other racer. He's like super rich and owns a rich company behind him, a Dinoco or something. What was his name? King? I think it's King, yeah. Unfortunately, well, things went all whoopsie-doopsie, and Lightning McQueen ends up in a country town named Radiator Springs. Get it? Radiator Springs. Laugh. And kind of funny because I live in the country, but yeah, he learns to be humble and not be an a-hole to everyone, and yeah. How the heck do you pay for a town when, there's no money shown? Anyway, in the end, Lightning McQueen learns that life isn't about racing, it's about helping your friends and losing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Look, it may be a simple Pixar movie, but I love simpleness. Just everything about this movie is nostalgic, and I just love simple things. Please accept this. Please do not throw hand grenades or drone strike my house because of this opinion, please. Huh? Yo, does anyone hear a nuke? Number 13. Under the Sea. I hate live action remakes. Why is The Little Mermaid a thing? Why? I mean, I like the original, but why did you have to race swap the characters? If you're gonna do that, make a new character, dummy. Anyway, what was I on about? Oh yeah, Finding Nemo. I love the water. Alright, we're done with this segment. Okay. Finding Nemo is actually a nice, classic children's film. I like it, and yes, it's based on nostalgia. I forgot what the message is, I am stupid. Oh yeah, it's to not be, overprotective as all heck. Anyway, so yeah, as a person, as a kid, I did have overprotective parents, and now they're chill. Maybe because, I'm like the experiment. I mean, I was, the firstborn, but still. Yeah. But man, this movie is actually very charming. And you wanna know what else is charming? The ride in Epcot in Disney World. Ooh man, that song in the ride felt me with tears of joy. It was very nice. Anyway, was I supposed to be talking about a Pixar movie? Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, this movie's definitely better than Finding Dory. And also, Dory has a character voiced by Ellen DeGeneres. I know, she had that drama and stuff, but appreciate the art, not the artist. She actually sounds really nice in this movie. And Marlon and Dory make a pretty good couple team, or whatever. Wait, were they a couple? I don't know. But man, the beginning of the movie, already, just... the beginning is so sad. Like seriously, what kind of survival instinct did Nemo have to miss one, to be missed by a barracuda? What the heck? But the beginning was so sad. I mean, like seriously, how would you feel if you lost your wife and your kids, deducting from like 900 to one kid? Just so sad. But anyway, the movie, even though it was made in 2003, it was beautiful. Anyway, Number 12, Inside Out. Alright, imagine this movie just came out, right? Pixar made Toy Story 3 in 2010. A really awesome ending to the Toy Story series franchise. Well, supposedly ending. Then they made Cars 2. Okay, for, pretty low, but it was okay. And then 2011 came around, and we got The Good Dinosaur. Alright, a little bit shaky. 2012 we got... we didn't get The Good Dinosaur in 2011. What did we get? Oh yeah. Cars 2 in 2011. Then in 2012, we got Brave. And we're like, Pixar, are you okay? Then in 2013, we got Monsters University. Now, sure, it seemed like an odd idea, but it was a pretty solid movie. Then in 2014, we got The Good Dinosaur, which was the equivalent of watching paint dry. Now we got 2015, Inside Out. For some of you guys that are still sticking to Pixar, you're like, please, at least be as good as Monsters University. And it was. A really solid movie playing with our emotions. This is like one of the best Pixar movies out there. It just tugs your heart apart. The fact that they gave 5 emotions their own personalities was amazing. And on top of that, the ending, oh man. I mean, I'm kind of salty that if I actually did this, my parents would scold me and not hug me like they did with Riley in the end, but, even without that, just the world building and just the emotional ending, it just sends you to tears. Plus, I know how Riley feels anyway, maybe more than anyone does, because, I know she moved from Minnesota to California, but yeah, going from, one of the coldest states out there to one of the hottest states out there, and expensive, then yeah, it's definitely gonna play with your heart a bit and make you experience everything but joy. But other than that, it just, I definitely get the feeling, I definitely get Riley here. But yeah, it was a nice movie. It was definitely a breather, since 2010s and 2020s was definitely not the best decades for Pixar, especially 2010s. Now 2020s is kind of a shaky year, but yeah, we're doing good. We're doing really good. Number 11. 2020 was not really a good year for anyone, and a really bad way to start the year. Especially in Pixar's case, when we had Onward. Yeah, no one liked Onward, really. I mean, it was okay, it was solid, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but then Disney dropped a nuke on us with Mulan, the live-action one. And there's so many controversies about this movie that it makes its own video. I'm not gonna make a video on that because I'm horrible at explaining things, but I've heard it was super controversial. And then we got Soul and out of it, and everyone thought it's just gonna be a horrible movie, but Soul turned out really good, and you're gonna find out in the next few entries, but Soul was an awesome movie. So, I'm like, yeah, Pixar made one good movie, it's not gonna make another. Oh my gosh. Luca. Luca's a nice movie. Anyway, so I can't really explain in words what Luca is. I'm gonna have to say you have to watch this movie yourself, because it's really a mix of Finding Nemo and The Little Mermaid. Father looking for, their son or daughter who's a sea monster and they go and land, and yeah. But, even though this feels like another Pixar movie, a simple one, but a good movie, it's just... Okay, I can't hold my excitement. I really love this movie, and, just Alberto and... what's her name? I don't know her name. Julia's and Luca's friendships is very, very nice and very wholesome, I might add. And the villain was okay. He looks like some 17-year-old with daddy issues, I'm gonna be honest. Kind of looks like Chef Skinner's son. Wait, hold up. Okay, I'm messing with you guys. This takes place in Italy, not France. But it was a really nice movie. Now, I know I'm not really saying a lot, but words can't describe how good this movie is. It's a very good, solid Pixar film. And a nice, a nice addition to 2021's Pixar and Disney's catalog. Especially since, actually, this was actually a pretty good year for Disney and Pixar, because in 2021, we got Luca and Encanto. These were some pretty awesome movies. Heck, Encanto is like one of the best Disney movies out there now. Especially since we don't talk about Bruno, which is way more deserving than Let It Go's popularity, for sure. This is the new Let It Go of this generation. You cannot tell me otherwise. Anyway, Luca is a nice addition. Wait. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Luca is nice. Oh wait, this is the number 10 spot. Number 10. Now we're in the top 10 Pixar films. These have little to no flaws, like, at all. I mean, of course there's gonna be nitpickers that'll be like, oh, this has a flaw and this is, but we're talking about nitpickers here. They love finding flaws, like it's an Easter egg hunt to them. But anyway, our first number 10 is Up. Yep. That one movie with the sad scene in the first 15 minutes. You know, it deserves its, it definitely deserves its, iconicness, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna stop BSing, so, yeah, I will admit, the beginning is definitely the best part, and then after that it turns into Lightyear, but better. I like the adventure theme of this one, and Russell. I put this in the top 10 because when I was younger, people thought I looked like the kid. Like, people don't even, people are not bothered to learn his name. Like, when I was younger, everyone says, you look like the kid from Up. His name is Russell, by the way. Anyway, the point is, I love how adventurous this film is. The dogs are amazing. The villain is amazing. Maybe not one of the best twist villains, but, it's definitely better than that was his mistake. I'm sorry. I just had to use it once on my channel. Just once. I won't use it ever again, alright? Anyway, the final fight was amazing. However, how the heck did Carl survive all of this despite being old? Like, seriously, how do you do this? I'm like 19 now, and I can't even sleep without breaking the neck, or just, adjusting my back or something like that. Or maybe because I use a CPAP machine. Anyway, the point is, this is a nice, awesome, action-packed movie, and I even remember seeing the trailers for this, and even though this was released, in 2009. 2009 had some pretty good films, and Up was definitely no exception. This one was good. This was also another year that was good for Pixar and Disney, with Princess and the Frog. We also got Coraline and Fantastic Mr. Fox and Nine. That's not a kid's movie, but it was good. But yeah, Up is definitely no exception, especially since how iconic the scene of, what's his name, Carl? Yeah, Carl flying through the air with balloons with his house, even though it's not really possible to lift a house with balloons. But it's Disney, it's Pixar, it's not supposed to be real or make sense. This is why I love animation, because I hate physics. Number 9, Monsters Incorporated. I'm gonna have my house be set on fire because of this opinion. Yeah, I know, Monsters Incorporated should have been high up, but look, our opinions are different. I'll give you that. Anyway, let's talk about Monsters Incorporated. I have actually did grow up with this movie, despite it coming out until 2003, and me being born in 2004. Huh, funny how that works. Anyway, the gimmick of, having monsters in your closet and seeing that world was actually very fascinating for Pixar to implement. Because when you're younger, you see something dark in the closet and you assume the worst, like it's a monster, or there's a monster under your bed. Now, my room actually has 2 closets, so if I existed in the monster world and I was 15 when I moved into this house, would I be too old? I'm not really sure. I think it's just for 18 and under, I guess. Or 13 and under? But let's just say if the age limit was 18. What closet would they go through? There's one that slides, and there's another one that leads to the lights in the house. So yeah, maybe there's 2 doors, one for sliding and one for the normal door. Are there any sliding doors in the Monsters world? Anyway, I'm getting too much into this. Anyway, you would think this would be another, monster movie that goes into kids' rooms and scare for the funnies. But no, it's an actual job to power the city of the Monsters world, which I thought was very clever. On top of that, Boo actually made this movie a little bit better, because Boo is precious. Why would you hurt her? Unless you're a lizard, a purple lizard that likes causing chaos. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas, but I really liked the unique aesthetic of this place, being all scaly and, it's like real world, but not really. It's just, I really like how this universe is built. I forgot the message of this. Also, Water News. One of the best twist villains, even even in today's standards. I know, he was made before the twist villain trope was, buried to the ground, 7 feet under. But yeah, even today's standards, he was a very nice twist villain, and I'm going to be honest, I'd rather have him as a boss than anyone else. I'm going to be very honest. I know he's evil, but he just seems like a very cool boss. Like if you make him mad, yeah, you're definitely going to get fired, but if you make him glad, he's going to side with you and be your best buddy. But my gosh, I haven't even talked about Sully and Mike, one of the best Pixar protagonists out there. They are amazing. I love them. They're cool. Sure, they disagree with each other, but, best friends do that. And, yeah, especially the part where their friendship definitely gets tested in the snow, the Himalayas. Yeah, the Himalayas. Did you really have to add in a pee joke? Anyway, really good movie. Number 8. I'm definitely gonna get drone striked. Anyway, Toy Story 2. Whew. I completely ignored this movie until I was 8. Yeah, for real. Or was I 11? I don't know, but I just remember not watching this for a long time, then watching it, and yeah. Pretty good movie, actually. Basically, it's just, how can I put this? This movie is just funny, it's creative, it's very nice, it's everything a Toy Story movie should be. And man, it is definitely a sequel, especially with Wheezy's plot, Woody's plot, Lightyear's plot, Jesse's plot, but it just comes hard with this question. Should I go here? Or should I go here? Life is full of decisions, and this movie definitely captures it. Sorry, I stutter a lot. But yeah, just, life is full of decisions. Mine was to work until I paid enough so I can go to California and film school, but that didn't happen because parents. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Life is full of choices, and whether you pick one or the other, something's gonna change. Woody could, go to the museum in Japan, which I would have done because I love Japan. I'm such a freaking weeb. Anyway, or you could just stay with Buzz and everyone else. and Jesse would be with Woody, but in the end, Woody and Jesse go back with Andy for the rest of their days, because, the third movie exists. But yeah, this is definitely a good movie, if you're a Toy Story fan, especially since it leaves you to the question, what happens if I go here? What happens if I go there? What happens if I go anywhere? And life is like a movie, and the plot is the path you really take. I think I'm missing the point of this movie, but that's what I got from that, because I am dumb. I am a simple-minded 8. Number 7. Ooh, Toy Story 3. This was the perfect finale that got messed up by Toy Story 4. But does it make it less of a finale? Heck no. The prison escape scene, amazing. The final boss being Lotso. What a freaking Republican, I think. Or dictator? I didn't know this was King Jong-un's pet. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Anyway, this sequel, the second sequel, or third sequel, or whatever you want to call it, is one of the best Pixar films to date. Of course, it got ruined by Toy Story 4, and Toy Story 5 coming soon in 2026 or something, I don't know. And Lightyear, but does it ruin my enjoyment? Heck no. Even if those movies do exist, I'm not gonna let it affect that this is definitely not just the Toy Stories, the final Toy Story, finale, but Pixar's finale. If they stopped making films and left it at this, I actually wouldn't be that angry, really. If Plastic Beach from the Gorillaz had a better ending, then I would be fine having only 3 albums of the Gorillaz. Sure, Soul wouldn't exist, or Cracker Island or Song Machine wouldn't exist, or any of those good songs, or other movies wouldn't exist, but at least we'll be letting out on a high note, since this was also the same era with Up, WALL-E, The Incredibles, Ratatouille. Seriously, that was amazing. It was amazing, but it's okay that Pixar did continue. Sure, they went into mediocrity for this, decade, and even this decade. But, the fact that this exists at all puts a smile to my face. I just love the ending, and yeah. Woody is very lucky, because some kids just get some toys just get thrown out. So yeah, I'm glad that, Woody found himself a supposed to be ending, instead of dealing with Forky in the 4th movie. Seriously, why did they have to make a 4th one? And now and then they made Lightyear, and now they're making a 5th one? What the heck? Number 6. The Incredibles. Man, this movie is almost 20 years old, because it came out in 2004 like me. Seriously, I was in a chat one time in Discord, and people that were clearly older than me, apparently old enough to play the Nintendo 64, were clowning that my age was 19 at the time. Was this before I was 18? I think so, I'm not sure. And then they made a joke saying, you were in your mom's stomach when your mom saw The Incredibles, even though that would be weird because she was pregnant. Look. I'm just being real of something that could relate to this movie. But talking about the movie itself, it's amazing. My favorite thing has to be Syndrome, that was planning on committing superhero genocide just because he has no powers. Though, there's a theory that his powers was super smart, which, yeah, I can definitely see that. Being a genius is probably one of the best superpowers out there. I wish I had that power, but no, I'm just a simple human. Emphasis on the human part. I know, emphasis on the simple part, yeah. And Mr. Incredible, good character. Elastigirl, good character. Their kids, great characters. With their own plots and arcs and just amazing. And the action scenes, very mind-blowing. Actually, you wanna know who my favorite character is? Not Syndrome, Frozone. He's definitely my man, my bro. Especially the most iconic line ever. Where's my super suit? Like, man, that was a funny one. Like, I put it away. I'm like, the world is dangerous like that. And he's like, our man will be in danger, and just, it's very comical. But despite everything going on, this is like one of the most serious Pixar movies that Pixar has ever put it out. Especially since there was even a suicide scene in the movie. Now, movies will never, kids' movies will never attempt this, because this was amazing, and it definitely wasn't afraid to talk down on the kid audience, which I can appreciate. And, man, this was a good childhood movie. But yeah, once again, this is a movie about supers getting going illegal because Mr. Incredible saved a man that didn't want to be saved because he was committing offing himself, basically. And yeah, this led to a lawsuit and all that, and just, yeah. Emma Mode is also a nice character, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The finale was one of the best parts too, and then they introduced the Underminer, which led to this, not horrible sequel, but it wasn't good as the first sequel. There's still two pretty good movies, but this one I prefer way the most. I love this film so much. And there's a reason it's number one in Shafila's Pixar ranking video. However, sorry, if you're a fan of Shafila's and somehow didn't watch this full video, sorry for spoiling it, but it was up for almost 2 years now, so deal with it. Number 5, Toy Story. I wanted WALL-E to be in this place, but I realized I enjoyed that movie more than this one. Toy Story aged as well as The Bug's Life. I mean, you could tell it was definitely made in the 90s, or 80s if you want to be crazy. But it's still a good movie nonetheless. It's just about, not being an a-hole to the new kid that's getting popular, that stole your glory. And, yeah. The fact that, it took a whole movie for, Woody and Buzz to finally, make a good, friendly relationship, despite, everything going down, and yeah, I really think this is one of the best movies out there. This was the first 3D animated movie. It was Pixar's first movie, and they did a really good job first try. I am really surprised. I don't know why, but studios like making good movies on their first try. Like with Illumination with Despicable Me, where the Minions weren't such means back then. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was Disney's, and it was really good. DreamWorks was Ants. I mean, it wasn't bad, but definitely wasn't good, but, we're counting that. Ants was pretty okay. And then, what else? Am I forgetting some studio? Oh, probably not. Oh yeah, Blue Sky with, was it Ice Age? Yeah, it was a pretty good film too, so yeah. This, the trend never stops apparently, because, and me, my first film did pretty good too, so yeah. But, yeah, Toy Story is amazing, and the point is, don't be equal to people stealing your popularity, because, there's always a bigger fish. But in the end, they learn to be friends, and yeah, just don't be jealous. It's not that hard. Also, the main gimmick of the toys come to life, when, no one's looking, was definitely a good way to make this story crazy enough. I mean, there was a deleted scene where Woody was even a bigger dick to Buzz, but no, they just went on a kid-friendly approach, which I kind of appreciate. But man, imagine having toys alive is just such a weird and bizarre concept. But it worked anyway, because now we have 5 movies with a 6th one coming now. wildlife. Number 4. I love robots. The movie and just what they do. I know AI is taking over the internet. Hell, my favorite content on YouTube is the AI presidents meme, which is just very funny. But yeah, we're definitely growing to the WALL-E timeline. WALL-E is such an amazing film. And my gosh, they predicted Nikocado Avocado. Okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, so the point of this one is that take care of your planet, otherwise the planet will get dirty and then you'll be in a spaceship for 700 years and being like Nikocado Avocado. Or something like that. You know, the point of this film is that AI has been so crazy and robots have been taking over the earth. Not like, you know, over like Terminator style, but like making us weak and stuff that, you know, we don't need humans anymore, we just have robots. And Earth became so polluted that they went to the Axiom because, you know, the Earth is just too, like the air is just too, you know, unbreathable is what I'm trying to say. My gosh, I love this movie. Like, WALL-E and Eve's relationship was so nice. The co-pilot was an amazing villain. I don't know why, I just like him. The captain was actually pretty cool, and man, having humanity go like dropping off and then coming back together is just so wholesome. The ending was, man, the ending was so nice, especially since hopefully by then things will be back together. I don't know how they're going to establish government or anything, but no, it's good. Though the question is, how are you going to fit, I think is like 6 billion, I think? How are you going to fit 6 billion humans on that ship? Unless we can go with Matt Pat's cannibal theory, but I'm not doing theories right now. We're doing movie reviews. But yeah, I love WALL-E, and you know, the environmental message and just the characters in general is just so nice. They even gave the cockroach a personality. How is that possible? But man, it's just so nice. WALL-E has to be one of my favorite Disney protagonists. Is just seriously, Disney can give anything a personality nowadays, and you know, the fact that they gave a robot one. And the fact is this: they didn't even, you know, have him say words. Well, kind of. I mean, he can say like one word at a time, you know, but it's really hard to understand. But the fact that he can express his love to Eve with, you know, little to no words is just says a lot. Show, don't tell is what they say, and they definitely said it all by not talking. It's just, yeah. I recommend to get, like, if you have Disney Plus or have just a random movie DVD somewhere around your couch cushions, you gotta watch it if you haven't before. And if you have, watch it 30 more times. It never gets old. Because this movie is so cute and adorable, and I love it, and the environmental message and how dark it can be is just, it's amazing. Number 3. Alright. The only reason it's this up is because I'm just very Mexican, and this delivers. Coco. Oh, Coco. When I went to this movie, and after seeing what a disaster Cars 3 was, and back then I didn't really have good music taste, but I kind of knew what was bad and what was good, I guess. Instead of watching Cars 3, I watched the Emoji Movie. I know, shame on me, but, you know, there's a good reason why. I just couldn't trust Cars 3 after... Okay, Inside Out was a good movie, but I'm saying after, you know, everything else, and then after Inside Out, we get Cars 3 for some reason. I don't know why, but, yep. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Because this was a phase where I just didn't like Cars 2, but then something came up. Coco. I expect this movie to be a very hot garbage fire, And it wasn't. It was a very accurate representation of Mexican history and Day of the Dead and music, and just this is just a love letter to all Mexicans out there, because Coco is one of the best Pixar movies out there. It became a new classic, a new for Pixar, until they messed up with Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4 and onward, but you know, whatever. I'm just saying that Pixar is like a hidden gem now, but you know, back then their movies was a hidden gem because, you know, some of them were mid in that area, except Coco. Coco was definitely the odd ones out. And, you know, it just goes to show that Pixar is capable of, you know, making classics even after all these years. The cool thing is that they explored Day of the Dead, and especially the Land of the Dead, which is an afterlife. You know, it's a Mexican legend, I'll tell you that. Kind of like the heaven version, I guess. And then the final death is like hell if you're not remembered. And man, the ofrenda, oh yeah. You know, this tackles a lot of Mexican history and Mexican culture, and I just absolutely love it. With the fireworks, to the ofrenda, to going over the border, crossing over to the land of the dead, and just, And yes, our culture does rely on skeletons. Skeletons are cool, alright? But man, this is so cool, like, you know, based on the Mexican holiday that even taught me a few things too. Now that we're done with talking about, oh yeah, let's talk about the characters. Ernesto de la Cruz. I mean, not really the worst twist villain, but definitely not the best, but I still like him. Hector is amazing. Miguel is one of the best protagonists out there. Bro knows how to shred with a guitar. Oh yeah, the music. Now, I love music, and, well, of course I'm a Mexican, but I love a lot of music that isn't Mexican, but this soundtrack on this movie, mind-blowing. And just, you know, the fact that, you know, I wouldn't even survive a day living with this family if they don't like music. Like, how do you live without music? I mean, I know it's, you know, it's because of their past, but still, what? It's such a good movie, and, you know, if you haven't watched Coco, I want you to watch that too. Here's your assignment. Watch WALL-E, watch Coco. That's your homework for today. Anyway, Coco is such a masterpiece, and yeah. Now, there is another Mexican holiday I want to tell you other than Day of the Dead, and that's New Year's, where you build like a thing about, like, you make something that looks like you, and then you burn it. The reason you burn yourself is that it's supposed to be representing burning your past self, because you're a new person. Yep, I think it's like a firework or something. Probably not, but I really like that concept too. But man, this movie had so much love and so much heart poured into this one movie. Also, spirit animals, yes. Festivals, yes. And remember me, yeah. My favorite part is when that one grandma used that shoe as a weapon. That was a funny callback when Mom did that when I got a B on my report card. Number 2. Now, if you've been following along, there's 2 Pixar movies that definitely wasn't mentioned. However, you're gonna be surprised, but number 2 goes to Ratatouille. Like, seriously, this movie is definitely not overrated enough. Alright, let's actually talk about the message. Now, this rat named Remy was voiced by Patton Oswalt, one of my favorite actors, actually. Whew. Rats. Alright, I need to stop being stupid. So the point of this movie is that, you know, anyone could cook, or let me just simplify it. All artists come from different places. I'm from Michigan, and you know, one day I might make my shot in LA. Maybe, one day. I don't know when, but it'll happen. But basically the point is, every artist comes from somewhere. You know, every artist has its story. And this one really clicks well with me because I'm still in my beginning days of being, well, a YouTuber or film director if I get my shot. And yeah, this is my Ratatouille story. But you know, it's not about, you know, directing or doing anything, it's about cooking. And in this case, any chef comes from somewhere. You think Gordon Ramsay was just, you know, well known right off the bat? No, he had to work hard for that one. He had to work hard to become, well, one of the best chefs in the UK. He didn't just, you know, it wasn't just there for me. Actually, I'm gonna quote from, get a quote from, Coco. It wasn't just given to me, I had to reach for that dream. What was it? Grab it and hold it tight and make it come true. Oh yeah, I wanted to use that quote in Coco, but I didn't know where to use it, but this was the perfect time to use it. Basically, you just have to work hard. You know. And if you're not cut out for it, you gotta work harder, I think. But yeah, everyone comes from somewhere, whether that your path be easy or your path be hard. My path is freaking hard. Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the story. So Remy is a rat, and you know, you expect rats to be disgusting and full of diseases and, well, knowledgeless of cooking. Oh, not Remy, no. He's an artist that came from somewhere, which in this case is an old lady's home. And basically he's just teaching Linguini, you know, how to cook, basically, in one scene. But, you know, thanks to Disney magic, Remy can just get on top of the chef's head and make him cook using his hair. Yo, let him cook! Anyway, I just love this movie so much. And I haven't even talked about the villain. Well, is he considered? You know, yeah, he counts as a villain. Ego. You know. His last speech, though. Before I go any further, I got a third piece of homework for you. And that's to go watch Shafila's Productions. I know, second time already. I know. If I had a nickel for every time I referenced Shafila's, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't, you know, a lot, but it's weird that happened twice. Anyway, I want you to watch Shafila's Productions video on Ratatouille. I know, it's almost an hour long from what I remember. It's been 2 years since I've seen it, but go watch it. Anyway, he said as a critic, there's no risk of being a critic, except for exploring the experimental and coming in terms that it's good with it or something like that. And yeah, I definitely agree with being experimental. I love being experimental. What do you think my channel is? It's experimental. I do everything, you know, other than these talk videos. Yeah. Now let's talk about more of the story. Chef Skinner. Anyway, screw that guy. I don't really like him. He's not really the best Disney villain. He's just a grumpy old chef boss. I just heard my mom laugh on the phone and upstairs. Anyway, but yeah, it's, you know, it was so weird that, you know, how this movie just happened. It's one of the best films out there, and just the theme song and just everything is just so gorgeous. Also, this movie takes place in Paris. Crazy. Anyway, the most funny part about this film is that in the end they said this was made with 100% animation guaranteed, since Pixar and the studio that made Happy Feet was in the Oscars for like animation films, and they lost because Happy Feet won, even though they used motion capture. And I think people like accused Pixar for using motion capture when they didn't, so they added a 100% animated guaranteed stuff, which was very funny. But down to the last message. The last message is, every artist comes from somewhere. And that's it. Anyone could cook. Anyone can cook. It's just, translated to every artist comes from somewhere. Whether that be a big city or a small country. But yeah. Every artist comes from somewhere. I have a few friends that are not even from this state. I have a few friends that are not even in the city. There's not even friends in this country here. So yeah. Everyone comes from somewhere. And they know how to make good stuff. This movie is very touching, and even though I did put my comedic twist on it, it's a very serious movie that I love and enjoy, and it's a very good kids movie. But there's one more film I want to talk about that touched me more than Jack Black touching the kids in School of Rock. I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to be a Predator joke. It's just one time. Great, I have to explain it. So in School of Rock, he made a joke saying, "I've been touched by your kids, and I'm pretty sure I touched them." But he didn't mean it like in a predatory way. It means like, touch their hearts in a metaphoric way. Alright, good, got it? Got context? Alright, great. And the number one favorite Pixar film / best Pixar film, in my opinion, is Soul. Now, this was a hard lead up. 2020 was a sucky year. And we got Onward and Mulan. And what came out in 2020 else? Anything else? Wasn't there a Disney movie that came out in 2020 that's not Mulan? Anyway. So yeah. Oh yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon. Screw that movie. Anyway. So we were down bad in 2020. And then Christmas came along. This movie released on Christmas 2020. And I was ready for 2021. And yeah. Like, oh gosh, another Pixar film. 2 films in 1 year. This isn't gonna be good. And then I've seen it. And I was touched by it. And the message definitely appealed to me. This is like the best message any film has gotten to me. And that is, you don't have to do great things to live a great life. Now, of course, I ignore that because, I do a lot of great things on my channel, but that's not the point. The point is, you just, it's good to live life, and sometimes we just take life for granted. By the way, the movie I'm talking about is Soul. This movie definitely touched me, and the world building is amazing. New York City looks lively in this movie, and our protagonist, Joe Gardner, very fleshed out, and actually very cool. Like, I would like to hang out, for a weekend with this dude. This guy loves music too. He's a piano player, and yeah. Basically, this movie is just telling you that you can, you might die anytime, but you gotta, you can't take life for granted because everyone lives one life, and, you gotta make it work. It's messages like these that keep me hoping that Pixar will be good again. Well, not just good, but great again. Make Pixar great again. Now, of course, I'm not supporting, Orange Man, but I'm just saying that this is just a sign that Pixar is still capable of pumping up classics. Like Luca. I mean, sure, Turning Red was very shaky, it was in, like, the bottom of my list, but it still went for a leap. Then I got Lightyear, which was bad, but I'm hoping that Elemental will definitely, break the streak again. Soul was an amazing movie, and even though my family doesn't like it because I've watched it so much times, it's still a beautiful film, and just everything about this movie is gorgeous. I just love the message, I love the characters, I love the story, and yeah. it's movies like these that make me see that Pixar isn't out of the ring yet. Sure, they made a few mediocre movies or two, but, you know, not everyone can be perfect. DreamWorks is definitely a king of not everything is perfect, because even though DreamWorks is a very popular company, they still have their ups and downs, like making another Trolls movie, or, you know, like Disney. I mean, they've been making generational trauma movies that no one really liked except Encanto, and yeah, Encanto is a sign that Disney's getting slightly better, but not too better, because that came out in 2021. But Wish is definitely a sign. Illumination has been making crappy films for a decade now, but then we got Rise of Gru, and the Mario movie, which is definitely making me kind of excited for the new Illumination movie called Migration. Then we got DreamWorks. Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: Last Wish definitely gave me hope for DreamWorks. And Ruby Gil, like the Kraken movie, is also giving me a little bit more hope, because, well, it's just standard DreamWorks movie, but really another Trolls? But let's not decide that. Pixar isn't out of the ring. It's definitely no knockout for him. It may be a knockout for Blue Sky, but they ended it with a high note with Spies in the Sky. But yeah, let's end this segment real quick. Alright, so Elemental is coming up in a few weeks. It is May 19th by the time I'm recording this video. So Elemental is coming out in like June 16th. So almost in a month, but I'm just gonna say in a few weeks. So yeah, this might be a chance for Pixar to really show themselves. I know their newer movies have been getting clowned on, and people are not really that excited for Elemental, but we'll see. We'll see, guys. The future is the only thing that can tell us what's good and bad. But for now, that is it for the video, and I will see you guys later. Sorry if I just felt awkward making this. It's just, I'm really bad at explaining movies, but I hope you guys get my points. I hope. Anyway, yeah, and if there's something you agree with or disagree with, go type in the comments, or, you know, instead of, you know, pitchforking my house or sending a drone strike to my house. Like, please don't do that. But anyway, see you guys in the next video. Bye!